Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ask Dino Show. My name is Dino Maddalone. We're so happy you guys came back. Now tonight, we've got something real special for you. Check it out. It was 1984, the year of blazing guitar dominance. Over 150 of the hottest guitarists in the country tried out for the biggest tour in history, the Jackson's Victory Tour. It took Michael Jackson only one time to hear Gregg play, and he was hired on the spot. They never regretted their choice and the guitar wizardry of Gregg Wright. The Ask Dino Show coming at you right now. Hey everybody, Dino Maddalone here, and welcome back to the new Ask Dino Show. Tonight we have a very special guest and a very special show. This gentleman is not only a friend of 25 years, but we have been playing together for a very long time. We're working right now. We're working in a band called the Tony Farrell All-Star Band. But what's really great about having him here, he is the new musical director of the show. He has played and worked with Michael Jackson in the famed Victory Tour. He worked with Mick Fleetwood in the Zoo. He's a Living Legend Award winner. We'll talk more about that. He's a Lifetime Achievement Award winner. What I'm most proud of and most happy about is he is our new musical director, and his name is Mr. Gregg Wright. Hey, Gregg, thanks for coming down.
Dino,
all right.
Good to see you.
All right, good to have you down. Your style, tell me about your style. Let's talk about your personal style first, because you tour all over the world.
Mm-hmm. My style is sort of forging together of basically rock and blues. Mm-hmm. And then I'll take little elements of everywhere else, fusion, jazz, whatever, funk. Mm-hmm. But basically, I'm a rock and blues guitarist.
Okay, well, check this out. We're going to show you a little bit of Gregg Wright. Check it out. You played with Michael Jackson in the famous Victory Tour. Tell us a story about you playing with Eddie Van Halen when you both did the Beat It solo. Where was this at, and tell us what happened.
It was at Texas Stadium in Dallas. Van Halen had played in Reunion Arena the night before we started playing.
Okay.
And I guess him and Michael had talked. He invited him to come out and play with us. And before this all happened, Michael Jackson pulled me aside and he says, hey, Eddie's coming. And I'm like, Eddie who? No, he says, no, Eddie, Van Halen, he's coming. I go, oh, great. But then Michael gets this look in his eye.
Yeah.
And he goes, I want you to go crazy. And I'm like, what do you mean? He says, I want you to go crazy, man. I want you to do everything you know how to do. I want you to do behind the back, behind the head, playing with your teeth. He says, when I point at you, you just come out and go. And I know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was thinking in his mind that he had these two nuclear weapon type guitarists
right
in the same show on the same stage at the same time. I always got the feeling that Edward Van Halen felt like I was trying to make a reputation at his expense.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And I wasn't. I was just doing what my employer asked me
what your boss told you to do.
Right.
Okay, check this out. Gregg Wright, Michael Jackson, Beat It. Check it out. Man, that was a freaking bomb, man. Michael was going nuts over you, man. That must have just been insane. All those people. See, I saw you at Dodger Stadium. I saw the show at Dodger Stadium, This is before we even met. And I was in like maybe 10, 15 rows back, and everybody, Diana Ross was there. But I was just like, it was absolutely the most powerful thing I've ever seen. It was awesome.
It was something to behold, to be a part of, and
yeah. And the tickets were only $36, by the way. You can believe that. Anyway, so listen, I want to talk about now. Let's talk about what's going on now. You just got back from Louisiana.
Right.
And you also, while you were there, you got this fantastic award. Let's talk about what's going on in Louisiana and what this is all about.
Well, there's a foundation based in Atlanta, Georgia, called the Just Blues Music Foundation. His name is Charles Mitchell. He called me up out of the blue one day and said, I've heard a lot about you. I've heard a lot of what you do, and we'd like to present you with the Albert King Lifetime Award.
A very long-haired Gregg Wright on the left, playing with Mick Fleetwood's The Zoo, with BEKKA BRAMLETT on the ARSENIO Hall Show. We interrupt to bring you the Ask Dino Show, Untold Tales from the Vault. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Mick Fleetwood, because this is one gentleman I'd love to get on this show, being a drummer. But I know Gregg played with Mick Fleetwood in a band called The Zoo. The band was smoking. Tell us a little bit about Mick. Give us a little insight about Mick Fleetwood, what it was like to work with this guy, because he seemed like he could be a really fun guy.
Mick is like one of my favorite people in rock and roll. Very bright, very well spoken, very well read, and very personable. Mm-hmm. I remember one time we were playing in Omaha, Nebraska, and Mick, myself, and a couple other people from the band, we just decided to see what was happening in the streets of Omaha, Nebraska. So we just went and just
started walking around. Did they recognize you guys?
Oh man, Mick's taller than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm 6'3".
Yeah.
And people were just coming up to him. Oh, Mick Fleetwood, can we take a picture with you? Yeah, man, sure, come on. And he took his time. He was really gracious.
This has been Untold Tales from the Vault. Sometimes when shows talk about their sponsors, it's kind of like the lame part of the show, and you're kind of like, oh man. At the Ask Dino Show, it's the coolest part of the show because we've got two very cool sponsors. We have a drum company called Spawn Drums. Spawn Drums and Simtech Cymbals. Now, as a drummer for a long time, I've been using them for the last 20 years. They look fantastic. They sound fantastic. I've used them in the studio. I've used them live. I've used them in Las Vegas showrooms. Fantastic. Brian Spawn, who owns the company, he makes them by hand and he paints them right here in the United States. SpawnDrums.com. And then we have the Current Lace and Leather. They make leather products for the body and for the home. And I'm telling you, I've been to some of their functions and I've seen people buying these things like crazy. Now you can reach them on their Instagram handle at currentlace_leather. That's at currentlace_leather. I have one more question to ask you, and this is for all the young people out there in the industry. What is going on? Why are we missing rock? What happened?
The reason rock fell out of favor is because in the 80s, there was an unwritten rule that, no people of color, no Hispanic
MTV
people.
And all that stuff.
Right.
MTV was all white, all rock.
Everything.
White. There was hardly anybody of color on MTV for a while.
I remember people actually trying to discredit Jimi Hendrix as a rock superstar. The guy ruled the planet when he was here.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And that was not anything but hard-ass, ball-busting fucking rock and roll guitar. Because of the exclusion of black artists from rock, what became the dominant pop culture musical form? Hip-hop.
Hip-hop. Yeah.
Now, instead of having a few black people playing rock and roll, now you got all black people playing hip-hop as the dominant cultural fucking force. When I say what's missing is soul. Now, I don't mean soul like
Right.
soul music. What
Yeah.
I mean is
Yes, the actual
this.
soul. Right. The
This.
actual soul. Right.
Right here.
Right. The
Okay.
actual meaning of the word
Yes.
soul. I guess with the internet and the do-it-yourself world and the way the thing is, it's going to be very difficult. But I'm hoping, as I know that you are, that it does come back. And I want to see. I'm missing the 4 and 5 piece rock bands. I'm sorry out there. I love watching some of the hip hop acts. I produced a lot of it. I produced a lot of R&B artists over the years. I mean, any kind of soul music. We did a Motown show in Vegas. We did the
Solid Gold
Solid Gold Soul, and it was one of the most fun I ever had in my life. Playing in Las Vegas. Gregg was the guitar guy. I was the musical director and the drummer, and it was just a fantastic, fun show. But I'm so missing. Every time I see an award show or something, I was like, where are the rock bands? Where's the 4 and 5 piece guys that are just playing their butts off?
There is nothing I enjoy more than being plugged into a fucking Marshall that is just megawatts enough to blow down the Great Wall of China and just go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I've seen you do it a million times.
That's rock and roll, man. You got great people out there doing great stuff. I saw a concert in Rio on YouTube, and it was Steve Vai sitting in with Living Color, and they just tore the place apart. Tore the place apart.
Where was it at, Rio?
In Rio.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I always knew rock fans, real rock fans, only gave a shit about if you were coming with the game.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
I spent 5 years in Louisiana and playing around the Deep South. And often I was the only black person within 100 miles. And I'm playing these so-called white rock clubs. And it's because when I rolled in with them 2 Marshalls, I was going to knock the fucking dirt out of your clothes.
You came with the game.
Right. And that's all those kids
cared about. You talk
cared
the talk
about.
and you walk the walk.
That's all those kids cared about.
Anyway, I can't wait to do the new shows and have this gentleman be the music director on our show. He's going to be playing live. It's going to be fantastic. This is Dino Maddalone, the Ask Dino Show. We look forward to seeing you real soon, okay? Hang in there. Thanks. This scene is Gregg playing at my studio, Dino M4 Recording and Video Facility, a fully equipped, state-of-the-art studio located in Torrance, California. If you need tracking and or mixing, I can guarantee you I'm a 35-year expert. We also do 4K video productions. Contact us anytime, 424-800-1394.